How's it going, everybody? Yeah, I've been gone for a little bit, and it's because we had family here, and because of their sleeping situation, I wasn't able to be in this room where I stream and where I make videos and all that good stuff. So I was able to stream a little bit, only a couple days out of the last, whatever it's been, week and a half or so. But that's why there was a little break. I wanted to keep getting those podcasts out at least once a week if I can, or as often as possible. And so that's where I've been. But now everything is back to normal as far as the schedule goes. And I know that we, on Twitter and Patreon, we did a little bit of voting which podcast I should do next. So it's not that one yet. That one is on the way. Don't worry. I still am in the middle of editing it. But this one just happened. We were streaming and playing some games, Overwatch. And all of a sudden, just boom, we started talking about food. I was talking about my dog, our new dog, which I'll introduce to you soon, I hope. And I was talking about how I feed him grilled chicken every once in a while. And then all of a sudden, off of the topic of grilled chicken, we talked forever. I edited it down so it wasn't the full 2-3 hours that it was, but we got basically everything in there. So basically this podcast is about food. It's about working in the industry. It's about some food in general. There's other stuff thrown in there, but I think you'll like it. There's some good moments in there, and yeah, more soon. So let me know in the comment section topics for the podcast, and I will keep pumping these out as much as we can. Anything you're interested in, anything's on the table. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you soon. Oh, and speaking of Patreon, my new link for Patreon, I can't see, freaking COVID hair. My new link is patreon.com/Saizen. It's no longer it's Saizen, it's just slash Saizen. So you all take care, and I'll see you soon. You want grilled chicken? Dude, grilled chicken tacos, don't sleep on them. They're delicious. I know there's better shit out there, but look, for what I can have, grilled chicken tacos are fucking prime time. How's it going, Toonie? Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, sometimes Taco Bell's grilled chicken is actually good when they have
That's what I got today. It was grilled chicken from Taco Bell. Sometimes it can be a little, what the hell did you do to this?
Yeah.
Because I remember working there. I want to say the chicken was just in a bag, and you put the bag in hot water. Is how you cooked it or something, wasn't it?
You remember it looked like a fryer, except it was one unit, not split into two.
That's what it was. Yeah.
You lifted the lid, and you had these little racks that you put the meat, the chicken, the steak,
the beef, and all that
cheese,
was in there. Yeah.
Everything in there.
I forgot.
Then you'd put the timer on, then you pull it out, cut the bag, and dump it in the metal container that didn't sit on top of the pool of hot water.
Yeah,
underneath the line.
Yeah, when I told the story about my coworker who was like a dumbass and put all the water in the fryer, that's what he would do. He'd take the fryer shit, he'd put it in that, and then it would just fucking explode. He was a dumbass. You meet some characters working at Taco Bell.
I think the stupidest thing I ever did is I cut a bag of cheese open, and I went to pour it into the thing, and it poured out right on my arm.
Oh.
And yeah, I spent an hour in the dining room, just looking back, probably should have gone to the hospital just to make sure. But luckily, nothing else.
You don't back then, though, you know? Yeah.
It was just rain under cold water and sit in the dining room for an hour, just going, oh God, oh fuck, and then back on the line an hour later, oh well.
Yeah, Taco Bell was some weird shit, man. It was. I always respected fast food workers after working there because it was just holy shit. You get so much. You want a job where you get shit on. That's it right there. I had my manager. She was a regional manager, Gwen. I'll never forget you because you're a bitch. And my manager, Donna, who was sexist. They both were. So they'd always call me, even if I had, I had one sick day out of the whole time I was there, and they made me come in and unload the truck because they said, quote, only guys unload the truck. And I was like, oh, that's cute. And I was the only guy on day shift. There was not another single male that worked at that store until nighttime. And yeah, so that was fun. And then they would make me do all these tasks. So they'd be like, hey, if you get a secret shopper, because everybody freaks out about them, like they'll dock you for this and dock you for that. So they'd be
They'll
like,
order a taco and a bean burrito and wait for you to ask if they would like a drink, and it has to
yeah,
be made at this precise.
and you got to do it in 45 seconds. If it's a second over, fuck you. And it was just like, holy shit, calm down. And so it was one of those wild things where they would always do that, and then they'd be like, oh, you need to work the drive-through and then come help us on the line. Oh, but you got to wash your hands in between that. Then when you're done with the food, you got to wash your hands before you get the money from the customer. After you get the money, you got to wash your hands before you come back. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, my hands are going to fall off. Like, I can't wash my hands 48 times in a night. Like, I can't do that shit. And then they'd make me take the trash out while I was working drive-through. So I'd see 6 cars in the line, and I'd have a giant trash bag over my back like Santa Claus, and I'm throwing it in the thing, and then it's like, boo, hi, welcome to Taco Bell. How can I take your order? And then they'd be like, are you the guy at the trash can? I'd be like, shut up. And then they'd make me clean the bathrooms while I was taking orders. So I had to clean the fucking toilets, and I'm on drive-through, and I'm sitting there taking and you have to memorize the whole order and then come back and punch it all in the damn computer. And then, of course, I don't know about when you were like at any fast food place, but fast food places, those of you out there who don't know, they have a major problem with updating their keyboard. They would just have like a printed sheet over the top, and they're like, okay, so that says chalupa, but that's really not chalupa. You know, like,
Yep.
And it would all be screwed up. They're like, okay, so the water cup, yeah, that's the nachos Belgrande. You're like, wait, what? Like, so you had to memorize all that shit.
And everything.
No, none of it. It was all printed on these. You had like a blue, yellow, and pink buttons and white buttons.
Yep.
And it was all printed and put over the top with this plastic sleeve. And it was like, holy shit. Well, look, Clamp, that Gwen, like I said, giant bitch. She used to make me walk over next door to McDonald's in my Taco Bell outfit and get ridiculed by the whole McDonald's. And they're like, you work at Taco Bell, you won't even eat that shit. And I'm like, it's for my manager, Gwen. Like, it's not even for me. I love Taco Bell. Like, what do you say? Oh, sure you do, buddy. That's why you're coming over here to. I'm like, God damn it. Because she said, like, they'll kill me and make fun of me if they see me over there. It was so stupid. I'm like, no one at McDonald's knows that you're a regional manager for Taco Bell. Like, you're not that important.
You're not even in a uniform, okay?
No, exactly. No one knows. Like, you're just a regular, like, heavy-set lady. You're fitting right in America.
If you walk in there and somebody says, God, it smells like a taco in here, that might be you, not the Taco Bell.
Right.
Okay.
Right. If you go to pay, you pull out your wallet out of your purse and fucking 18 packets of mild sauce pour out. Yeah, they may be onto you. But, beyond that, Jesus.
Yeah, I used to love the work at Taco Bell because we made deals with the Wendy's and the McDonald's and the Burger King. All the employees, like, we'd know when we all worked, and it's like, all right, if y'all want something, just bring us this stuff. We'll give you whatever you want. And we just trade up.
You're like a trade going?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's great. That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh.
So much.
You're the fucking Resident Evil guy, but you got a fucking trench coat full of food.
You want a chalupa?
Got my shit. Oh my God, that's great. Yeah, we only had the McDonald's there because Mesa was expanding at the time when I was there. And now there's like Jack in the Box down the road. There's a Wendy's right across the street. There's all kinds of shit. But like back then, the only things that were there was a Walgreens, McDonald's, Taco Bell, and a Home Depot. And the Home Depot got put in like after a while of me being at Taco Bell. And that's when I was working there. And every single person who came in who was working on the job site, nobody spoke English. So we had to have a stick. I know I've told the story, but we had to have a stick and point to the board every single fucking item until the person went like this or this. And then you're like, all right, is that it? And they'd be like, huh? And you just keep no until it's no for everything. So like an order would take like 20 minutes. And then to pay you, they'd literally pull their wallet out and hand it to you. and just trusted that you would take what was right, which I did, and give them their change. It was craziest shit ever. And you had like 45 people that you had to do that with in a row during rush hour. I was like,
See,
you guys work
if I'd been the
construction. Isn't
manager
your
there-
breakfast at like 10 a.m. or your lunch at 10 a.m. or something? Like,
if I had been the manager there, I would have literally like gone to the library and printed out a picture of every item on
yes.
the menu, put it in
Yeah.
a book, and been like,
Tape
here you
them to
go.
like playing cards or some shit. Just be like, pick a card.
Give them 3 darts. Give them a round menu. Say, all
A
right,
pile of
whatever you
those,
hit,
a pile
that's
of
what you get."
numbers. Here you go. Put them together. Do it. That'd be perfect. It would be perfect. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of any place I ever worked that was worse than that. I think working at a movie theater may have been worse. I think it may have been worse.
I worked concessions at a movie theater. I
So
didn't
did
work.
I, yeah.
I didn't work the ticket booth or terrors or.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I did the cleanup.
projectionist.
I did the
I
cleanup.
don't even think I did cleanup. I was literally like on concessions.
Yeah,
That's all I ever did.
That 90% of mine was concessions, and I
hated it.
it sucked. It was really bad because they made you like upsell everything, so like you had to. Oh, you don't want Sour Patch Kids? You want a Snickers? No. You want a Milky Way? No. Can I get you a large drink? I have a large drink. Yeah. Would you like another one? Like you had to just keep pestering them until they're like, shut the fuck up.
I have 17
and
large
ring
drinks.
up my
Would you like
fucking
a
$300
hose?
of food for 5 items. Okay, buddy? Seriously. You do,
only
Toonie. You work
upside.
6 times harder for 20% of the pay. It's ridiculous.
The only upside was on my days off, I'd go up there and I'd spend the entire
Free movies,
day
dude.
there just watching like 6 movies straight.
Yep. Yeah, they'd have
And
like
the
they'd
owner
say
would get pissed, and it's like, you sold us.
Come
You
on,
said we
man.
have unlimited free movies,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, you can't really. And it's like, you didn't. No,
yeah, ours was
you pay us
2.
shit.
It was
This
2
is
a
our
week
perk.
with our like you were supposed to have 2 a week. But they didn't care. So it was like that's when Blade and Resident Evil, all those movies came out, and I was like, let's go, Heather, let's go. And her mom like, you're going again? I'm like, I work at a movie theater. Like I'm not paying shit. Like I'm not paying any of this. So it was like, yeah.
And they get upset. Well, just let's go back and get another ticket for your next movie. I'm like, I'm just gonna walk
Yeah,
out
serious.
one, walk in the other. Fuck you, man.
Well, you'd be like, oh, I need to talk to the manager real quick. They're like, oh, okay, Mike. And then you're just like, let's go in this one. Fucking go into this theater right here. I'll tell you what. But yeah, we had like had so many weird things with concession too. Like I always got so pissed off because at the end of the day there'd be like a truck full of popcorn and their policy was it had to be thrown away. They could not let you have it. And I'm just like, you wasteful bastards. Like what the fuck? That's what happened when I worked at GFS. It'd be like, oh, this ham went, has a sell by date of today. I'm like, okay, I'll take it home. No, we can't do that. It goes in the dumpster. I'm like, okay, I'll throw it away. Okay. And I just take it to my truck. I'm like, it's winter time. The shit stays good in my truck, like whatever. Did it all the time. And the manager's like, you can't be doing that. I'm like, yeah, the fuck I can't. I'm like, that's a whole, that's a whole tray of shrimp. That's a whole and it's perfectly good food. I'm like, shame on you guys for not having a system where you're donating this to a place in need or something.
right.
Like you
I
should
used to do
have
that at
all
Game-
that set up with shelters. Like give it away, man. If it goes bad,
Mhm.
have them stop
But
by
then,
and pick it all up.
because of the way our country is, they
You're not
can't
legally
because
allowed
of-
to. Yeah, they can't take it.
Yeah,
That's what
because
they would
can,
say.
if somebody gets poisoned or sick and from it, then they can sue them.
Yeah, but the dumb thing is they did it with canned soup and shit when they've even proven like some soups you can have for like years after it, as long as it's been in, decent temperature and all that. It's weird. The policies were so weird. And they would have like all the stuff for culinary arts, and they would, have special orders of like knives with people's names on them. And then they'd cancel their order and the policy was you throw it away. And I'm just like, what? Why? Like, why? Like, this is a perfectly good apron. This is a good hat. So that's still to this day, all my silverware, all my everything in the house, it all came from that one job. I'm like, I'll throw it away. I'll take it to the dumpster. Fucking took it straight to my truck every day.
Yeah, I used to do
Every
that
day, my
GameStop.
dad, where the fuck you
360
getting all this stuff from? Like, It was gonna get thrown out, man. Sorry. What were you saying? Sorry.
I was just saying we used to do that at Burger King when that was my first job, and like 10 minutes before it closed, we actually had some decent managers. Look, whatever's left, just take what you want.
Yep.
10
Yeah.
minutes before it drops,
Yeah.
bam, full bag of chicken nuggets. Oh shit!
Wait, you drop them on purpose?
I dropped a full fucking bag.
My
Right in the
God!
fryer, 10 minutes before we close.
Yeah,
Oh no,
right.
fresh fries 5 minutes before we close. Here's 4 Whoppers. Oh no, what happened? And I just walk home with like this fucking like 3 big bags of Burger King.
Oh
like,
my
nuggets
God,
and
that's
fries,
incredible.
and my mom
That's
was always like, "What'd you bring home?" She's
incredible.
like, "How are you getting all this?" I'm like, "We dropped it. Nobody bought it."
Yeah, I mean, I would do that with like, I'd have a whole, because the place that I was at GFS, it was like a Costco. And so it was like, it was a bulk food store, but we were small. So we were a little bigger than a Walgreens, but it was a bulk food store. So like a lot of it you couldn't sell individually. So it would just get written off, and then it's like fair game for anybody. And we'd have like these cases this fucking big of frozen pretzels. It's got like 175 frozen pretzels. Like I bring them home and my dad's just like, they can't even fit in the fucking freezer. What are you doing? I'm like, there's snow outside. Just fucking set the box outside. I'm not letting this shit go to waste. And that's why I lived off ramen noodles and fucking pretzels. I was like, I'm saving up to move to Arizona. I'm fucking eating for free. I don't give a shit right now. And it was fine. I mean, everything was good. They just, God, it was so dumb. They do that like on Halloween too and shit. They're like they'd give out like on Sundays they'd have their demos, and then it like the shit wouldn't get eaten, and they're like, oh, I gotta throw it away. I'm like, just feed it to the employees. Like what?
Right.
What are we, animals? Just have everybody on their break go and get some of it. They're like, well, you can, but the demo's over. I'm like, the moment the demo's over, the food isn't fucking cold. It's not bad. Like, it just literally ended. Just tell anybody, hey, anybody want some of this shit? Here you go. Crazy bastards. That's how we did it at Logan's Roadhouse. The yeast rolls there are so damn good that nobody can get enough of. Whenever we closed, left in the hot box was, oh my God. That's, I worked at a place called Local Color, and it was a brewery / restaurant. And it was one of the better jobs I ever had. It sucked because I washed dishes there, and eventually I like moved to the salad line for a little bit before I quit. But I didn't like it because the dishwashing, like they only had one temperature for the water, and it was like it was fucking terrible. It was like melt your skin off was the temperature, and you just get burned so much washing dishes there. But the owner, like at the time, I'm, single, the owner's sitting there, and he had this thing where he only hired like models for waitresses. So my buddy Dave's like, dude, you gotta get in here. We got a spot. Like, trust me, you gotta get in here. And I'm just like, God, I get there and I'm like, that girl looks like a Playboy model. He's like, she is. She's dating the manager. She's literally a Playboy model. You can look her, you can look her up. I'm like, oh my God. So it's like everybody there was a fucking supermodel. And then when I was doing the salad lines, it'd be like, we're closing up, and I'd be like, blah, 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 blah. And I just, like when you go to a buffet salad line and it's not really a salad. It's basically,
it's not a salad.
It's not, it's got lettuce and veggies, but it's basically a sub sandwich, like 8 sub sandwiches worth of lunch meat and some other shit on top. And I would make those every night and bring them home in these giant containers, and I'd eat it and just be so happy. I just stunk of all the fucking trash I had to take out and all the dishwashing, but I didn't even care. Cause those salads, man, salads, fucking there's fucking 3 containers of bacon. Blah. It didn't matter, man. They're so bad. Fucking ranch. I'm like using a super soaker on that sumbitch. It was so big. It's ridiculous. I loved all that shit. I miss it too. And then the owner, like, he got so mad. I remember one time he got so mad he was upstairs. We're all working till like 2 a.m. because they would hire these, or they'd make these parties. And so you'd have to work super late. Whenever the party went to, they never had like hours. So if someone wanted to rent the place out, they just paid for the hours. And if you worked till 2, 3 in the morning, you worked till 2, 3 in the morning. And I'm sitting there like, I got school the next day and I'm fucking working so late. And he was shit faced. He was upstairs, got in a fight with his Playboy girlfriend, and he punched his pinball machine and broke his hand. So he had to leave. We had to not only like wait until like 2 in the morning, then we had to wait for his bitch ass to come back from the hospital. It's like we're all sitting there like, can we fucking go home? It was so stupid. Broke his hand punching a pinball machine. It was pretty good. I don't know, Draven. I mean, she was pretty. I'll tell you that. But it was one of those, you know those type of people though, where they're pretty, but you're just like, yeah. You're like, I bet like 6 of the people, I bet 6 of the people on this line alone have, yeah, it was one of those moments where you'll look, but you won't touch.
They're all running high grade fevers.
Shit. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah. It was one of those type of situations. That was always my big thing, man. Did you ever have a thing like that with people where, okay, I always had this thing with some people, if they if they did something that they would go from a 10 out of a 10 to a 0. Did you have anything? What were your, like, what did that for you?
One of the girls that worked at the Taco Bell was like holy crap, right?
Uh-huh.
And we got along, and then one day, like, his family with this little kid came in. There was a little disabled kid. He had I can't remember what it was he had, but and she was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, oh, "Whoa!"
Ooh.
Like, I mean, she like started laughing about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not your friend." Like, I straight up like immediately was like, "I'm not your friend anymore."
Yeah.
She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because you were an insensitive bitch." And she went, I'm getting the manager, and she got Christine.
What are you gonna tell him what you did? Like,
Christine walked out like, what is she? She said you called her a bitch.
Yeah.
I said, no, I called her an insensitive bitch. She's like, what? And I told her what happened, and she looked at her and said, you're an insensitive bitch. She didn't stay at that restaurant much longer.
That's incredible. That's so good. Yeah, when I was at Taco Bell, we had this, God, I forget his name, but he was like my buddy for like 6 months, man. And he had Down syndrome, and he worked in the eating area, and that's all he did. He went around the whole time mopping, and he was so sweet to everyone. He was just the biggest sweetheart ever. And I was so nice to him, and he was so nice to me, and we would just talk, and everybody would like act annoyed and shit. And I'd sit there like at a table during my lunch break, and I just talked to him, and he, just got to know him, and he was so nice. And eventually his mom would like come in and be like, it's so sweet. Like, he doesn't have a lot of friends, and for you to be nice and this and that. And that's how it would happen there, where like there'd be someone who was like really pretty, but then they'd make fun of him. And I'm just like, I want to dip her head right in the fryer. Like, that shit just drives me crazy. It's like this weird entitlement, or I don't know what the hell exactly it is, but insensitive bitch. Like, I mean, that's spot on. That's spot on. Yeah, I don't know. That was always a big one for me. That was bad. But
now if a customer was just being an asshole and they were talking, whatever, shit, but just out of the blue, just snap, nope.
Yeah, I mean, I had that was like a lady I worked with for a while. I considered her because for those of you who don't know, I had like this whole situation. Didn't know my surrogate mom growing up. I knew my birth, or my adopted mom, but not my biological birth mom. And so like Karen was like I called her like my mom, because we were just that close. And then one day we're on the phone, she just starts dropping N-bombs left and right. And I'm just like, fuck. And this was like years into talking to her. It just came out of nowhere. I was like, okay, well, never talk to her again. I was just like, holy shit. It was crazy. It just came out of nowhere. I was like, okay then. But yeah, like, that type of shit drove me crazy.
Clam talking. I think it was Clam talking about those fucking rolls at Logan's.
I've never had them. They must be good if you instantly were like, oh man.
He said that. I was like, oh.
Is it like their Cheddar Bay biscuits, basically? Like their signature thing is their rolls?
They're super fluffy.
Well, I didn't mean like the same, but like they're known for them.
I mean, it's not it's that they're a steakhouse, and that's what steakhouses do. You get big fluffy rolls.
Yeah.
And like, you remember? Did you ever go to like Golden Corral or Ryan's or any of that?
I've been to Golden Corral once, but when we went, they like everything was out, and the people I was with were like, "Yeah, this is a bad example. Don't treat the rest of your visits, like don't stop going here just because of this. This is like," they were out of everything, and it was kind of a nightmare. But
well, they're basically these big giant yeast rolls, and they're super, like the outside. Yeah, it's like that. That's it's one of the best things you get there. Like, you get a nice little soft, crispy outside that's real thin, but the inside is just fluff, and they're so fucking good. And you get in there buttery, and I want to go to a steakhouse, and people are like, "Oh, you can? They're open." I'm like, "Fuck you! I'm not going right now."
That right there. That right there. That's what I miss right there. We used to always, when we'd go and we get fucking fried chicken for Heather's dad, we'd get the chicken, we get the potato salad, and we get fucking like 2 to 3 of those things and just dominate them. King's Hawaiian sweet rolls. That was like crack.
You know what the best thing to use those for are?
Well, what?
It's these little ham. Well, it's these little ham sandwiches.
Oh, like sliders and shit. Yeah, that'd be good. You cut the top
off, and you put the ham and cheese, and then you put the top back on, and you coat the top in butter that has poppy seeds, and then garlic. I can't remember the exact mix, but then you pop it in the oven, covered in aluminum foil for like 20 minutes at 350, and they come out and they're all melted and
nice.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we'd have them at Thanksgiving. Heather's family would have them, and then they would you'd make like a turkey sandwich out of them, especially like leftovers and shit. But
oh hell yeah,
that was good. And I'm really bad. Like, my wife will take, like, if she's got a piece of bread, like, this will be the fucking slab of butter she'll put on that shit. Like, if she's got banana bread, pumpkin bread, just this fucking, it's a hockey puck that she puts on that shit. It's like she's having bread with her butter.
Tastes good.
And these rolls were like the only thing that every once in a while I'd open them up and I just Pac-Man that shit. Like, you just put a little cube of butter in there and then you'd smush the shit until they were like the shape of your hand. They're like coming through the parts of your fingers and you're like, yeah. And then you just fucking eat it. It was so good. It'd be like this thin by the time you smush that shit down, but it was incredible. I don't know, I was always weird with that, with like, I was really picky with butter because like growing up, my mom made like the best fucking pumpkin bread. And it's weird because I never, like, as a kid, I'm like, pumpkin? What the fuck? Why would I eat pumpkin? Right. I carve pumpkin. Like, it's nasty. You pull that shit out. Trust me, just try it. I tried it and all the fucking spices and shit. I was hooked. I'm like, damn, this is fucking incredible. And then like between that and banana bread and shit, and then everybody's just like, just fucking hockey pucking on that shit. And I'm just like, you can't fucking taste the bread. Like, what are you doing? Like, maybe a tiny top coat. And that was always like the big argument between Heather and I, because she was like, no, you gotta cover that shit. And
what you do is you let the butter tub thaw out a little bit, get nice to room temperature, and you just take that piece of bread and you smear that shit right.
Dip it in, and then you sock puppet that shit.
Exactly.
Oh, am I gonna eat you now? Great. Fucking done.
Well, that's like, my ex, she fucking put butter on Pop-Tarts, and I'm like,
dude, no, you can't defend that. Anybody in chat, butter on Pop-Tarts, like, I still can't get that through my head. I can't wrap my head around that. I can't. I don't. I don't get it, man.
And her favorite was chocolate fudge with butter on it.
But why?
And
Like,
I'm just like, no.
look, you put a little butter on maybe one of the more plainer ones, I guess I could understand it. But on a chocolate one,
Like, it was the ones with icing on it too. So if it was at least the ones that
what?
didn't have icing on, like a blueberry one
I
without
was assuming that it was one that didn't have icing.
No,
like,
it was chocolate fudge.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That's even crazier than I thought. Because I'm like, I could kind of understand people doing it if it doesn't have like frosting and stuff. Okay, Clam says butter on Pop-Tarts. Yes, put the butter on, microwave it for just a few seconds, and you're gold. Damn it. All right, chat.
No.
How do you eat Pop-Tarts? Do you eat them out of the package or do you toast that shit? That's the debate right there. And guess what? If you don't say both, you're fucking wrong.
Exactly.
Because they're great both ways, bitch.
Sometimes you want it hot and
sometimes
toasted.
You just want to go sit on the couch and watch your show.
Sometimes you're like, just give me my fucking box.
Fucking let me down Pop-Tarts. That. Exactly.
And
exactly. That's exactly what it is. They're good both ways. And then everybody always has the argument, Pop-Tarts or toaster strudels. That's always the big debate.
No, the real argument is Pop-Tarts or toaster pastries.
Oh, gotcha.
Because the toaster
okay.
pastries are the generic versions of the Pop-Tarts.
Right.
Because Pop-Tarts usually don't have icing on them.
Right.
Whereas the toaster pastries have a thicker icing, and the Pop-Tarts, like you open a Pop-Tart, like the actual name brand Pop-Tart, that shit will fall apart in your hand.
Yeah.
It's that soft. Whereas toaster pastries, you open that shit, slap it on the counter a few times, hit somebody with that shit.
You gotta
still
like
good.
tenderize it like meat.
No, I'm just saying it doesn't fall apart until you start actually intentionally breaking. Like you drop it, and no, you're good. You hold it up, no, you're good. You take it out of the no. But it doesn't break and fall apart. But they also have a thicker icing on them.
Right.
Whereas like I said, Pop-Tarts are a little bit thinner, and most of them don't have icing unless you specifically get the kind that has icing. Those are more expensive.
I've had some of like the generic ones, man, back in the day, and like we had Heather for a while. Like she was getting like natural ones because I would every once in a while I'd sneak a thing of Pop-Tarts for the kids. She's like, don't get them this. She's got this big thing about like don't get all the colors and all that shit that's in them and artificial this and that. I'm just like, once every while, babe, that's not going to kill them. I'm like, do you know the shit that we had as kids? Like one
bottle
can
of red dye number 5, Heather, okay?
Right. I'm like these kids of ours have had less in their lives than I used to have in like one can of Surge. Or like, you know what I mean? Like one sitting I would do it.
Jolt, okay?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Come on.
So like she'd get these like organic, healthier ones, and dude, it was chalk. They were so dry and nasty. She's like, go dip it in milk. I'm like, I can't have milk. Can't have my fucking milk.
If you have to dip it in something else to make it edible,
right.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what that is? That's the saltine cracker challenge. Like that's the whole no water. Like you should be able to eat that shit. That was the whole thing with Pop-Tarts. All you needed was the Pop-Tarts. You didn't need a beverage. A beverage was just icing on the cake. But you could just eat that shit however it was. I used to take the Pop-Tarts and I'd take my fingernail and I'd draw pictures on the back of them and then I'd break it and it would perfectly break that like design. I don't know why I brought that up, but I did. That's how I used to eat them. I'd do it all weird. And then I had a weird ass thing I used to do with like Tic Tacs. I had to eat them even numbers or it like drove me insane. I don't know why. Then I grew up and I just pound the whole fucking container at one time.
Oh look, I'd
always get the orange
Tic Tacs.
Dude,
yes,
the orange Tic Tacs, bro. Dude,
and you didn't eat those like mints. You just popped the top off and poured the whole container in.
You'd rip
and then
it.
Like, I wish I hadn't done that.
Yep.
And then you do it again an hour later with another one.
Yep. 100%. There was my favorite Tic Tacs. Like if I had to get mint, it was the light green ones. I don't know if it was winter mint. I don't know what exact the kind was.
Light green is, I want to say spearmint.
Is it? It wasn't the dark green. It wasn't the white, but it was like, they weren't strong. They weren't nearly as strong as the other ones. And those ones, man, I could just put a whole container in my mouth too. But the orange, holy hell. Those ones were dangerous. That was like, even when I knew I couldn't have sugar and shit, Heather would be like, "Can I get a little something in the stocking for Christmas?" I'm like, "Fucking orange Tic Tacs, do it up, just fucking do it." She's like, "You don't want candy?" I'm like, "No, that is my candy. That is my candy of choice. Orange Tic Tacs are amazing. That's just factual. I don't know what it is."
The Circle 10s or the icebreaker mints.
Oh shit, I forgot about those.
You know, with the to share.
Yeah.
It was the would have half of it, then not to, and then to not share, and it's just one little.
Did you have like a big
one out.
a big group of kids when Altoids came out, like just fucking acting like they had drugs at school?
Yeah.
That's how we were. like I never had them because I didn't know where to get them, and all your friends are like sitting there. They'd be like this. They'd be like, "You want one? You want one? 75 cents. You want one? Yeah. I'll sell you this. I'll sell you this. $4." And like they just sell them and they give them to everybody. It was ridiculous. I used to I did all kinds of shit. Like when I was a kid to make money, it was funny. I used to like wait in the line at the beginning of school. We had a little shop and you could buy school supplies. And I don't know if you remember those, like it'd be like a 2-color eraser and they would be twisted. Like it'd be like a twisty straw looking thing. And I'd buy them and then I'd sell them in class for like twice what I paid for them. And everybody would be perfectly willing to pay it. And like none of them knew that the store was even in the school at like the beginning of school. So I'm just like, it looks like I'm buying more cookies and cream bars at lunchtime. Like get my Hershey's cookies and cream and give me this.
I forgot about the school supply store in high school.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm just remember all the times I had to go, God, I need to fucking give me some paper.
Yeah.
I need a folder.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why ours was there. It was for like tests when nobody had a number 2 pencil. Like, get down to the store, dumbass. You're like, oh shit. Well, I'm like, why did they, like as a kid, I never understood why they even had different like why did other pencils even exist? Because as a kid, if you didn't have a number 2, you were fucked.
That's mechanical pencil. No, you can't use that, but it's number 2 lead. Nope, it's gotta be a pencil.
Stand up to sharpen your pencil. Shh. You're like, God, keeps breaking. I'm sorry. Freaking manual pencil sharpeners for all you kids out there.
All the way to the fucking door of the classroom.
Yes, it was always by the door. Like, was that the only beam that they knew about in the whole room? Like that they could put it on?
Why not put it on the back wall behind everybody so that nobody had like. God forbid, you felt you having a shitty day, didn't feel like you.
That's amazing, Clam.
Like, don't look at me, stop, you fucking assholes.
Yeah. That would be the best. You just go up there and it'd be like joke time. The whole class is looking at you. You could just do whatever you wanted. Yeah, we also had in high school, we had kids who would like work at the store during lunch. So like it'd be open in the morning and then it would open again at lunchtime. And at lunchtime, they'd have snacks and shit. And they had this little like station where they could make cookies and they would purposely undercook them. Holy shit. Dude, undercooked cookies. They're so dangerous, dude. You get them and you could just like roll them into a ball and oh my God. They were so good. They're so good. They were so cheap and so good. I'd freaking sell off a bunch of erasers and just get fat on undercooked cookies. It's great. It's great.
No, for me in elementary school, it was the rolls. Anytime they had like spaghetti, they'd have the rolls.
Oh yeah,
and they were like 10 cents each for extra. And
that's worth it.
And they were these. They almost looked like Hawaiian rolls, but they had a little bit of powdery, like they were just still just a little bit
dusted
floury.
On them, or what? Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And but they were, and the outside of each edge, like it was like they cut it before they cooked it, so that each roll got a little bit of a crust on the outside edge.
Yep.
And those were, I remember those were so. I'm like, oh hey, we're having spaghetti day. I have 40 cents. I'd like 4 extra rolls.
Yes, dude. And people, like, you'd buy the rest of them, and everybody behind you get pissed off. I used to do that with the. You remember I don't even know the name of them. Are they the drum jug juices? The colored juices, right? The flavors were blue, purple, red, orange. The flavors were colors. Damn it! That shit wasn't cherry. Girls. That was red. That's what that shit was. What does it taste like? It tastes like red, damn it.
Yep.
And I'd buy those because you got them extra for $0.25, and then they'd be sold out. I'm like, hey, but want one of these at 50 cents? I do the same shit, and it was just like sell it to everybody, making profits and shit. Dude, those things were so good. They stung. The thing, that juice stung on the way down, but in a good way. And now thinking back on it, there's no way that was in a good way. Like if the shit stings on the way down, like we're basically just back to where we were talking about people huffing paint. It's pretty close. It's probably close. It's comparable, just a little bit. And then I'd get my favorite, my crutch in high school was these like crazy, it was almost like a deli. It wasn't like a bun or whatever, but it was like what you get like a nice like sandwich on. There were just these big ass buns, and you were supposed to make them yourself, but it was this whole honor system. And I'd put like 8 times the amount of meat and cheese on that thing and do what I did with the Hawaiian rolls. Just squeeze that shit down. And they're like, that'll be $1.35. And I'm like, here you go. And I'd have like 4 sandwiches worth of food, and I'd just destroy it. Oh my God. It was so good. I can still taste them. Like they had like, you could get Swiss cheese and the turkey and shit. Oh my God. It was so good. I don't think I really ate anything else as far as like meals. Everything else, like, I think our school had like a deal with Domino's. So like when that came in, we'd just get Domino's. Cause the cool thing is it was like $1 a slice. So it wasn't that bad. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll definitely do that.
Yeah, ours just still had the rectangle pizza.
Oh, those are good though. Those are good.
And
like,
occasionally they'd be like, okay, pizza day, but it's not rectangle. It's not the octagon. It was the 6-sided pizza, the hexagons. That were taco pizza.
Yeah. Okay.
Like very rarely, like once or twice, like every couple of months, maybe. But every other Friday was just that regular rectangle pizza.
Right.
And then, but every Wednesday was Crispito Day.
Oh.
Crispitos, they were these little like they were like little chimichangas because it was just meat inside of flour tortilla.
Okay.
Fried up, and they just dumped a big ladle of chili
so it's like
on it.
It's like a taquito, but with flour tortilla.
It's like a chimichanga.
Okay. Yeah.
But they instead of just cheese, they would literally like take a giant plate. They would just, you'd have a plate with this little Crispito in the middle of it, covered in chili and shredded cheese.
Oh man, that sounds good.
And they were so good.
That sounds good.
And every single year, because I had choir, I was on D lunch, which was the last lunch of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So almost every single time they had them, by the time we got to lunch, they were out of them.
Oh.
And all they had were like, okay, you walk by, grab a cheeseburger that's wrapped up, and
yeah, I remember my school's cheeseburgers. Or hamburgers, I should say. We didn't even have cheeseburgers. They were hamburgers.
They were like soy burgers almost.
Yeah, I don't know. They
were
just
like
sat there. Yeah,
but they were so good, and they were only $1. I'd get those, get a pack of ketchup and a pack of mayonnaise, and just go back to the choir room for lunch and sit there, and like read shit or play something or get on the internet or something, and just sit there, got this little cheeseburger.
Yeah, I loved that about high school lunch and shit too, where we just take our shit and go somewhere and sit and talk, and like we wouldn't even go in the lunchroom. Like fuck that. I was in the lunchroom one time in all of my 4 years in high school. I sat down in the lunchroom once. Every other time we'd walk out to like different areas. We went down to like the music rooms. We went like everywhere in the halls. Like it didn't matter. I had one fucking time that I remember. Well, unless I was sometimes at the vending machines, I get my cookies and cream Hershey bars. I'd sit down and eat them at the vending machines at a table, and then I'd get up and then I'd go out. So I do that sometimes, but that's just because I didn't want all my friends watching me pound that shit every day. It was just like guilty pleasure. Make sure I get rid of the evidence before I go out there. Oh, you're not eating lunch again, huh? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
And you cookies or cream today, Mike? What's going on?
Like a month later, like, hey, bro, you've put on 15 pounds. You sure you're not eating lunch? Oh, yeah, I'm making up for it at home, you know. I don't know what to say, man. It's
Ben and Jerry's keeps calling for your leftovers, man. What's going on?
Oh, I thought
I
you were gonna
shit cookies and creams now.
We had to call Ben and Jerry's to do your blood test. You fat shit. We're on to you. We know. Okay, well, my bad.
The only time I ever sat in the actual lunchroom was for breakfast, because they always have the pancake dogs on a stick,
Oh yeah,
or there's pancake wrapped around sausage on a stick, and those things were so fucking good.
yeah, those were good.
And you get that and a hash brown,
Breakfast corn dog.
and you'd get a couple of packs of ketchup, and you'd make sure that hash brown, because it looked like McDonald's hash browns do now. They were
Right.
those long oval.
Yeah.
You'd put ketchup on every inch. Then you take your finger and you smear it so that it's perfectly covered. Then you take a packet, those little tiny packets of salt.
The salt ones? Oh,
and you'd
okay. I know
open
what
it,
you're
and
doing. Yeah.
You'd make sure you sprinkle every single, like
I'm
there was
just
not a piece that.
I'm picturing you, bro. You're there with a 3-cent fucking hash brown, just fucking Gordon Ramsay and that shit. You're like, tap, tap, tap. Oh, wait. Oh, too much salt. Tap, 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 tap. Yeah, perfect. And just fucking demolish it. That's great.
It's like you take one bite, half of it's gone. Your like lips have ketchup on the sides, like
They're burning from all the salt. Worth it. Yeah, I sat in the lunchroom one time, and it was that story I told you about how I cracked my friend over the head with a canister of yogurt, with a yogurt cup, and just fucking, he never talked to me for months. He was being a dick. So I just fucking stood up, fucking took his yogurt right out from in front of him, just fucking cracked him right on the head. Shit went it was like a giant eagle just dumped all over him. The whole fucking lunchroom, everybody turned and just pissed themselves. And of course, we're on lunch break. We had one of those middle of the class lunch breaks. So we were in like algebra 2, and he was in my algebra 2 class. So like we go back to class, the whole class is talking about it. Mr. O'Donnell's like, what is going on? Can we pay attention here? And then, Joe, what the hell happened? He's like, were you eating outside with the seagulls out there? Sometimes I see a lot of birds out there. It's like, no, bro, that's fucking Yoplat all over his fucking face. I think that's what I yelled, because it was like this big. We had this whole joke about, there was like that thing going around where that lady was always calling it Yoplat instead of Yoplait. I fucking yelled Yoplat as I cracked him over this dome with his yogurt. He's
be glad that Activia wasn't around when you did it.
Have fun pooping the couch, Joe. It's fucking. Oh, it was always the best too. Did that so many times. I miss that sweet sensation of like paying back someone who's like a bully or someone who's a dick. It's just, you can't beat it. It's such a good feeling. It sucks because you can't, if you go around and purposely do that, you're not going to have that same feeling. And then at that point, you're the bully. But if you have to wait until that shit happens to you, then you're like, oh, my turn. And then you get to do it. And it feels so good. It was always so good. I love that.
How much longer are you going to be on?
Probably till now. It's 4:15. I should probably say, hey, that's good.
Mom, today sucked. I'm not feeling great. People all laughed and they call me names. Was it so tough and the world so lame?